Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket. Go watch a movie.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 164. Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Today we are doing kind of a more serious for us, but it does happen sometime. We're doing The Little Things. That'll be coming up here shortly, but before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. I said a little bit. That's actually a lot of it. There's a decent amount of news today. First and foremost, the dueling movies. Did you hear about the GameStop debacle?
I heard something about GameStop, but I'm not clear on what actually happened.
So what happened was a bunch of big wigs in the GameStop organization. I guess they saw the end of the road coming. They're like, we're getting the fuck out of here. This company's going up. I don't know if you guys have been in a GameStop lately, but yeah, they look like thrift stores pretty much. And I love thrift stores, but I don't want to go into a GameStop and it look like a thrift store.
Right.
But so they all started selling off their stocks and pulling out, which were at all-time low. But the internet got wind of this, Redditors, and quickly bought so much GameStop merchandise that they sent the stock skyrocketing after all of these people sold all their stuff out of it. So it's pretty nuts because now GameStop is like one of the back where it used to be. That's prime, like high stock value, super high, and everything like that. Why is this important to go watch a movie? This is important to go watch a movie because there are 2 movies now being made about this incident.
Oh, wow.
Even though I just described it in 5 minutes, they're going to stretch this out into 2 different movies. And this MGM is one of the companies, and actually not sure on the other company. Oh, Netflix. MGM and Netflix are both making their own versions of this event. And I mean, I'm interested. I want to know how they're going to depict, I'm sure they'll have your main star as a guy who's selling stock, and he finds out and he's like, what the fuck? But it'll be interesting. Yeah. You still go to GameStop, so?
Every once in a while. Not a huge fan because I think they're a little overpriced on some stuff.
Yeah, I think their big wigs got what they deserve because they've been ripping off kids for years. Kids go in there, they have come to GameStop and trade in your game. We'll give you 50 cents for the game that we're going to turn around and sell for $60. So, yeah. But along the same lines of dueling movies, there are 2. And this is coming out of nowhere. Suddenly, 2 Buck Roger movies being made.
How does that happen at the same time?
Legendary Entertainment is teaming up with George Clooney, and it was going to be a TV series reboot, but they're going to make it into a movie instead. Mm-hmm. But apparently, Legendary aren't the only people who had their eyes on Buck Rogers. Oddly enough, that doesn't seem like a IP that should be just. Yeah, you know what? I think it's time. We're gonna pull out Buck Rogers and wow the world.
That's it. Okay.
But yeah, another company has swooped in and said, yeah, we're going to make a Buck Rogers too. But I mean, I got to imagine the George Clooney one, depending on who the other company gets, So we'll see.
Well, yeah, I'll say that. Look what they did with Lost in Space, though.
Yes.
So yeah. I think there's a possibility.
And yeah, and Buck,
it's just that name. It's the name that's throwing me. Sounds like an old porn star or something.
My name
Buck
is
Rogers,
Buck, and I liked. That was actually in Kill Bill, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what those outcomes are. And Golden Globe nominees were announced, and because we're going a little long in the news anyway, I'll just skim over some of the bigger ones. Best Motion Picture Drama. The options are The Father, Mank, Nomadland, which I actually want to see, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of Chicago 7. Best Performance by an Actress, Viola Davis, Black Bottom, Andra Day, United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Piece of Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, Carrie McGullen, Promising Young Woman, actors in the drama, Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman, Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins, The Father, Gary Oldman, Mank, and yeah, the rest of those can be found on GoWatchMovie.com. There's a full list of all the nominees. But are you a awards show watcher?
I used to be, but the older I get, the less interested I'm into it. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know if it's because I don't agree maybe sometimes, or I don't know.
Fucking Brad Pitt. Oh man, but that'll bring us to trailers. You first, me, sir.
You go right ahead.
Cosmic Sin is my trailer.
Sin.
Oh, Bruce Willis going back into space. He's a retired mercenary of some kind who gets roped into going back up. It actually looks decent, going back into space, and because of a big mission he's needed for. It's that same. He hasn't changed in a while, but just the sci-fi of it all got my attention with this one. Bruce Willis in space wearing heavy body armor, shooting laser guns, beating people up. You know, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. What's yours, sir?
Mine is actually called Cosmo Ball.
Oh,
and this one kind of reminded me of, remember that movie John Carter?
Yes, the biggest flop in the world.
Yeah, with the the animated creatures. It kind of has that feel with more aliens in it. It's got this animated kind of look, sort of realistic animated kind of look, but clearly it's not realistic, but you see what I'm going with. Yeah. And it's a cross between Shaolin soccer and like some space movie. I don't know. It looks weird. I guess it's Russian. And the last couple of Russian movie trailers that I saw that got me excited, and then I've actually seen the movie kind of let me down. Uh-oh. However, I'm judging this on the trailer alone. This is the trailer, so the trailer looks decent to me. It looks like it's fun. Basically, this kid. Or a young man, I'm sorry, can play this game. He's got some special ability that makes him really good at playing the game, and so do these 3 other people on his team. And they go to, and there's this great galactic war, and the leader of it has this game that he called Cosmo Ball, and everybody in the universe watches it, I guess, and it helps. I don't know how it helps the planet, but somehow it keeps humanity from being destroyed if they're like able to win some games or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous, but it looks fun, and that's what I'm kind of after right now, is some good old fashioned fun ridiculousness, and that's what it looks like.
Oh my goodness! I'm watching the trailer now. It's quite bright.
Yes.
And vibrant.
It doesn't look bad to me. I mean, yes, no. It's hokey, it's corny, it's whatever. But I mean, it's going to be a good popcorn. Have a couple of drinks and laugh at the hilarities.
Yeah. That's a little robot calling up on him. Speaking of John Carter, did you like John Carter?
I did not dislike it.
Same here.
I own the thing, so obviously I'm okay with it.
I think it was because they spent so much on it is why it was the biggest flop ever, because they spent like 300-400 million, and
it did like
32. Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody. I mean, I'll give it that, but
yeah,
it was fun.
On a massive book series too, so I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to see more of it, honestly. If I'm telling the truth, I'm being truthful, but yeah. Oh, well, okay. I'm digging this trailer. I've been watching it this whole time we're talking, like sound off, but I have to go back and watch it sound on. That does look interesting. I'm gonna have to post that one. Yeah. Well, that will bring us to the little things. That's what it's called. The little thing. I second guessed myself for a second there. Watch Bot, if you would not mind.
Deputy Sheriff Joe Deacon joins forces with Sergeant Jim Baxter to search for a serial killer who's terrorizing Los Angeles. As they track the culprit, Baxter is unaware that the investigation is dredging up echoes of Deke's past, uncovering disturbing secrets that could threaten more than his case.
Thank you, WatchBot. The Little Things, the story of crime, passion, hate, craziness, and it has a heck of a cast. Of course, Denzel Washington, starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared, not Jerry Seinfeld, Jared Leto, and a host of others. This one caught me by surprise. Nice little curveball. I enjoyed where it went, and I enjoyed how it ended.
Yes.
Because I like to be unsettled and wrong. So, what did you think of this one initially?
It kind of dragged out for me for a little while. I do the same thing. I make the same mistake of trying to play armchair detective. So I'll do it every time I can with myself.
We're going to make that a series.
Yes.
Armchair detective.
But I have to say, just like you, I absolutely loved what they did at the end. I did not see that coming. I'm trying to solve this thing here, and there was a whole nother thing going on that I wasn't even expecting to happen. So that was rewarding, but it does kind of drag for a few spots. I will say this though, Jared Leto can really transform himself into somebody else.
He's good at that.
That was impressive.
Well, people compare him to Daniel Day-Lewis with that, his whole method style. And actually, there was a question people were asking, I guess, on the press run, Denzel, if he went full method and just didn't break character like he did with Joker and the Suicide Squad. And Denzel said, if he did, he didn't do it around me. So, I found that interesting. Now, here's my thing. And please stop me if I'm not being PC. I don't know if this is wrong to say. Doesn't Rami look like a villain just straight up? Like, you suspect him instantly?
I don't have that feelings towards him. I liked him in a TV series that he was in. The first season.
Mr. Robot?
Yes, the first season I enjoyed. After that, I'm not going to say anything, but the first season I really enjoyed. And I thought he was great in that. But every time I see him now, I see the guy from Mr. Robot pretending to be somebody else or something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm stuck on him as the character from Mr. Robot. And he was so super cocky in this that it completely turned me off the majority of the movie. I felt like he was overdoing the cocky. Like, he was just like too cocky. I'm looking at like Denzel. It was almost like watching Seven. You get Morgan Freeman, you get this amazing performance.
You know what? That's a perfect.
And then you get Brad Pitt, who's like, okay, you're kind of trying to keep up with Morgan, but you're just not doing it.
Well, you're a little biased.
But still. But nothing against Remy, or however you say it. I'm sorry.
I think you're right, Remy.
Remy, I don't know how you say it. I'm sorry, Mr. Malek. But I felt like he was overdoing it. Like, I think he should have toned it down a little bit. I mean, he was literally walking around with his nose up in the air.
Literally.
Yeah. Or when you tell his partner or whoever that lady was like, I want you to do this. Like, the way he said it was just so cocky and ridiculous and over the top. And I didn't like that part. But I did like what happened to him at the end, because I like how he went. This is huge spoiler territory, but I like how he went from confident to like a vegetable, basically.
Yes. But I see him, and honestly, my first thought when we first see him and he's towing Denzel's car. When I first saw it, he did it. I don't know what the crime is, but he did it. He's guilty. But yeah, I don't know. And maybe it's because I've been so anticipating him in No Time to Die as the bad guy, but which we still haven't gotten yet. But yeah, I don't know. Like the last thing I saw him in was the Freddie Mercury movie where he played Freddie Mercury. So I was happy to see that he had the range to go. That's because this is like a complete 180 from that. So
yeah, I haven't seen any of his other work other than that show. So I'm stuck on Mr. Robot. That's all I can see.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, that's what I said. These three are. This is one heck of a cast for such a. It felt small. It felt like a smaller movie, and I don't know if that's. I don't know. It just didn't have that.
It may have been purposeful because I think they wanted to keep like I think they wanted you to be off guard for when they finally nail you with what is going on at the end.
Yeah,
I think they wanted you off guard.
They pull it off. Do you think his arrogance may be all too set up that ending?
It's possible. I mean, I agree with you. You almost thought he was the villain because if you look at the beginning of the movie, when you see him, is this tall, skinny guy with short hair. It's not the guy who can't walk, who has a limp, and then has a big beard
greasy hair and
greasy long hair. I mean, he wears the same thing every single day. I mean, there's no way. So I almost thought that he was the villain, and I was glad that he wasn't.
Yeah,
but he went complete vegetable.
Yeah,
there's like no way. And then so.
Man, this is hard one to talk to. I guess we might as well get into spoilers.
This is a hard movie. This is a hard movie to talk about, for one, because it's so somber and sad.
Yeah. And
then remember when we talked about The Arrival?
Yes.
We couldn't come up with anything to say because we were just so blown away by, one, how good the movie was, but then two, just how somber and sad and crazy it was. It was just like, how do you talk about this? And this one's kind of got a similar thing to it.
I mean, Denzel is Denzel. It's hard to pick apart anything he does. Did you? I'm trying to get because I am no Adonis myself, but do you think he's at an age now to where he's just like, I'm gonna go do this movie, fuck working out.
Yeah, I'm thinking
he looks like my dad.
Yeah, I don't want to see a buff Denzel Washington anymore. I mean, maybe back in the day, if he's fighting some demon or something, but now, no. Why would you want to see a buff? You want to see a realistic depiction of the character.
I say that, but even though, like in the flashbacks, he looks suave in his detective uniform. It's just when he's in that deputy.
Yeah, everybody looks a little bit better in a suit.
Yeah, that's true.
Throw a suit on him, you're good.
But yeah, he does what Denzel does in this, and like I said, I enjoyed the difference in Rami, Mr. Malik, that I saw from his Queen performance, which of course is going to be Freddie Mercury is going to be a lot different than this. I couldn't put a place on the accent he was going for. I don't know if that was supposed to be New York, but they were in California. I'm not sure, but he pulled this whole thing where he turns out to be the most cocky person in the world. Not turns out, but started out to be the most cocky person in the world. And then it's just this automatic shift once he finds out who Denzel is to subordinate. I did not like how quickly that changed in him. And I don't know if he was just looking for a father figure or what, but it just was so instant. And so there was no explanation for it. I was like, what? But
I think he was so focused on career that he was looking for anything that could either move his career forward or that he could learn from, or he was so arrogant he wanted to test his skills against somebody else's so high up there is what I thought.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mr. Leto. Mr. Leto. I mean, in this movie, he's designed to be the one that you look at like he did it because you know. And there was the scenes where Denzel is getting on to follow he's on the case and he's getting there and he's about to walk out of the appliance shop. And the slight chair move and then quick move back as he turns and looks like I was like, oh my God, I've never seen that in the movie. And it's something so simple, but it makes him seem so suspect at the same time, because he doesn't want Denzel to see him. So he was going to turn, but then he quickly saw Denzel turning back. So he quickly turned back around. That's waited until, I don't know why that got me. So I was like, that's some good scene making right there. That's fantastic. What do you think of Jared in this one?
Jared was great. I mean, he pretty much stole the show when he was on screen. He played creepy in like the best possible way, I guess. And he was able to he almost convinced you that he had done it. He was like one of those guys who was like wanted to take credit for something that he didn't do, even though you know what I mean?
Yep, just because he's fascinated with the genre.
Yeah, he's so like a fanboy basically, and was like enjoying every second of being thought as the criminal.
And getting his jollies off on running these two super sleuths around like kids chasing candy.
Yep,
he played them like fiddles the entire time.
Yeah, so if he wanted to be, what he was being accused of, he definitely could be. He just isn't. Yeah. And that was the weird thing. Like you got this guy who's mentally capable of, but isn't. So he's not the bad guy, yet he's a jerk. He's an asshole. I don't think he doesn't. I doubt he has any friends. He spends all of his time either at work or in a strip club or at home. But it's like that guy. You think he would be the villain, but he wasn't. He was actually not the good guy, but he was innocent.
Yeah, and just having fun.
Yeah, he was just being. Yeah, it's weird.
And sadly, you can't arrest people for being jerks and assholes.
No, you can hit him over the head with a shovel and bury him in a hole. Though.
You can't actually. Don't do that. Nobody do that.
I have the worst ideas.
Second week in a row, you're prompting somebody to do something criminal.
I tell you what.
But okay, we got to jump into this part. Like, hopefully, you guys have seen this if you're listening along. The part that threw me off slightly, I still enjoyed the outcome and the twists and turns, but the part that threw me off is how this super cop just suddenly is like, okay, I'll take a ride with you. Because we didn't see the cave enough to make him see, and I know that's what they were going for. He was so obsessed, but I don't think we saw enough of him becoming obsessive. Like we saw him doing a couple stakeouts at most, and then suddenly we're supposed to think that he's this super obsessed guy. He's so obsessed with solving this case that he needs to take a ride with the suspected killer.
Yeah, see, like I said, he was so arrogant and cocky that it almost wasn't a real arrogance and cockiness. Like when he was sitting in the car with Denzel Washington, his character Deacon, and he was like, well, "How long do you think you're going to do this?" And he was like, "As long as it fucking takes," or whatever, something like that. and then Deacon just looks at him, gives him that look because he's like an older, more experienced man. He's like, "You ain't going to wait that long. I can look at you and tell you."
And he's like, "What happens when you're gone?"
Right. So I think he just wanted to solve it so bad.
He just wanted to get that notch on his belt.
That accolade. Yeah, he wanted that prize so bad he just jumped in the car without thinking. He's like, I got a gun. I'm invincible. He's young. He doesn't have the knowledge yet to know that he's vulnerable.
That was no thinking at all.
Yeah.
And so much no thinking. Now, let me ask you this. You're a detective. You're on the top of the list. Like everyone praises you at the police precinct. Yeah, you may have just made a bad idea, jumped in the car with a suspected killer. Okay, we're going to let that one slide. But now he talks you into digging holes for him? Come on.
Yep. The fact that he was able to trick him to get into the car in the first place, that just shows you how great of a manipulator that, Leto's character was. And the fact that he gets out there, and like I said, he's just playing these two cops, just like kids. And then he gets them out there and gets them to dig all these holes. He wants it so bad. He's like, you're going to dig as many holes as I want you to.
And it's almost like they were his trophies Like because he knew them. He knew Denzel's character because of the papers that he had hidden, and he of course saw Mr. Malik's stuff previously on the news or recently on the news. So it's like he was there, like more so of their fanboys than the actual killings, but the killings just kind of happened to be what they were after, you know. So, but yeah, he played. I tell you what. I'm not digging a hole. If I think you killed somebody in buried, you're doing that. That's your job.
Right.
Get your ass over here and you dig this up. I don't know. I thought that part was a little. I was like, I don't think. But I guess, like you said, that showed how badly he wanted it. Because as we saw, it went even further.
Yeah.
Denzel's like, I'll be back. We put him in that hole. Back and
there's like 100 holes.
And he's still not buried.
Yep. That was crazy. That just shows you how bad the kid wanted to believe that guy was the killer.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was so bad he was able to he dug all those holes to try to prove his theory, which is one of my favorite parts of the movie is when Denzel sends him that thing in the mail.
Yeah.
So that he would be at peace. And he knew that he was going to need some time off, that he was going to be so whacked out by what happened. He was going to need time off. So he's like, go ahead, put in for some time, go home and sit. I'm going to, stick it in his head. I'm going to send you this thing so you can forget all about this and make, pretend like you did a good job and solve the case.
Yeah, that was, man.
Yep. While Deacon continues to live like a tortured life where he loses his wife and his daughters.
He doesn't want that for him though.
Yeah, and his position.
Yeah,
sits every night with the
ghosts,
the ghosts of of those people, of those victims, his victim, and then somebody else's victim. So
yeah, man, yeah, because you got a taste of that happy family, and like, oh man, the daughter's so sweet, the wife's hot. I mean, the wife's the mom. Yeah, he just got a taste, and he did not want him to go through that. So, in actuality, our two stars are the bad guys.
Yes,
Denzel for sure, because he's now covered up 2 murders. Yeah, that's
Well, I don't know if it's so much. I don't feel like he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's not
he's
that
definitely like an anti-hero, but he's not the angel that we wanted him to be. Like, and he says like there's no angels,
and he didn't even want to go on that case in the first place.
Yeah, and it makes so much more sense why everybody was reacting to him the way they were when he got there. Yeah. Like the chief, like he didn't want him there. He was upset with him because basically for what he made him do to help cover up something.
It all came together.
Yeah, the lady who was working in the morgue, the morgue, whatever, same thing.
Even though she at first was like, I'm going to get me some Denzel sugar. How long are you in town, baby?
That's what it seemed like. Yeah. Yes, indeed. That's what I was thinking. He was like, Denzel's a player because he's got this woman on him. Then he goes to see this other woman, sneaks up on her.
Yeah. And that's I guess that scene was just to show how much baggage he still has.
Mm-hmm.
And he still hasn't let it go. But
how could you?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I mean, of course, that ruins your marriage and in your life and everything, and that's a lot to take.
Yeah, because after he did that, he didn't stop hunting that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
and this is one of my favorite parts of the movie. Not the stuff that happens, but the stuff that doesn't happen. I like that the real killer doesn't get caught.
Yep, we don't know.
He's still out there. Deacon still has work to do. There's still no angels. It's just an ongoing battle.
Yeah.
So it leaves you thinking.
What does Rotten Tomatoes have to say about this?
The reviewers, the critics didn't like it. They gave it a 48%. Green.
Oh man.
But the audience gave it a 64, slightly better, but not great. Not certified fresh or anything. But that's what they thought.
I'm gonna go ahead and say go watch for sure. Even though I despise the cop becoming that much of a chew toy. Yeah, I say go watch for sure. I thought this was intriguing. It was thought provoking. It like they all put on acting clinics. So yeah,
yeah, I definitely give it a go watch. Leto is a star of it for me, just because he's so dang creepy. Yeah. But and I love the twist at the end. You're not expecting that kind of an ending, so it's like wow, kudos.
Yeah. Hats up to you, fellas. Thought about this one, and you can find us to let us know what you thought about this one on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all under Go Watch a Movie. GoWatchAMovie.com has all the news stories we covered. I'll get Robert's trailer up there. My trailer, I think I put on the socials. Yeah, that's everything for this week. Oh, you can find us wherever a podcast can be played. Also on GoWatchMovie.com. I got something I'm mulling over about putting on the site that I think would be fun. All I'm going to say is Elvira. Okay. But yeah, that's it for this week. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie.
Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety split it. Go watch a movie.
Hello.